His Excellency President Ruto and the visiting delegation, Dr. Guru and the other investors, all the leaders and the people of Tororo. Africa has suffered for the last 500 years. First of all, under the attack of the slave traders and the colonialists. And when we started getting independence, which is 70 years ago, with Ghana, Sudan, we can say that Africa has been betrayed in these 70 years. It is very important for all the leaders to audit and see what's happening. Just now, I asked my staff here to check on the internet, which you can all do. What is the size of the GDP of the whole of Africa? My girl here checked on the internet. It is $2.8 trillion. The whole of Africa. What is the size of the GDP of USA? 30 trillion. The United States is a quarter of the land area of Africa, and their population is 1/5. But you here, our wealth, 2.8 trillion, America's wealth, 30 trillion. That's more than 10 times bigger. Now, this is what we saw when we were part of the student movement in the 1960s. And we told leaders at that time what I'm telling you today. And we had to go through many phases, fighting and so on. So when eventually we came into government, we put out the 10 points program of the NRM. And point number 5 was pointing to what is the cause of this stagnation of Africa. The cause is the hemorrhage of development energies from Africa to other parts of the world. Especially, initially the export of slaves, because initially slaves were being exported, labor, free labor was being exported. Then later on, now raw materials. So what we are doing here is not just launching a project. It is part of the liberation process of Africa. It is part of ending the betrayal, usaliti of Africa. This iron ore, the hematite, which is very pure, some years ago, not in Kabale, but another place called Kanungu, there is also the same hematite there. A group came from India, and they agreed with my local villagers there in Kanungu to export unprocessed iron ore, obutare. I was telling you, Guru, they don't have enough words in English. So I was giving him our words here. Obutare. Obutare is the word for iron ore. So those fellows had agreed with an Indian company to sell obutare to India. And then when I called them, how much are you going to get? $47 a ton. And how much would this Indian get? That time it was like $900 a ton. And then all the jobs would go. You would lose money, you would lose jobs. So what we are doing here is extending what I have done in the whole sector of minerals. I have banned the export of unprocessed minerals, all of them. Let them stay in the ground. If the present generation are asleep, kama watu wale wamelala, labda huko mbele wengine watakuja ambao wako na macho ya kuona. So I want to congratulate Dr. Guru for helping us fulfill our vision of adding value to this butare. Mpigie makofi. Congratulate His Excellency President Ruto for encouraging Mr. Guru to come here. Now you have heard the implications of this project. Uganda is now squandering $500 million per year to export flat sheets and the other metals from which we make mabati and make mtayimbwa. Mtayimbwa, Wakenya wanaita mtayimbwa chuma. Chuma. But here, chuma is general word for steel, for metal. But for the steel bars, we can lend here a word called mitayimbwa. That's what we mean by steel bars. I have already told Mr. Guru. So these raw materials for those intermediate products for mabati and from Tayimbwa are taking much of the money. The other specialized steel, like the one of the railway and the dams, that one we may not go for because we need to be sure about the demand. But for the mabati and for the Mtayimbwa, we must support Mr. Guru to produce them here, so that, because that's the biggest money that is going, the 500 million. And I hear that East Africa spends $5 billion on steel products, steel imports. You have heard that Kenya spends $800 million. That's what the president told you. So this is really squandering of Africa's resources. That's why you see the GDP is stunted, 2.8 trillion. That's more or less like the GDP of one small country like UK. If you see the GDP of UK is maybe about that. But here we are, 1.5 billion people, with presidents, prime ministers, ministers, all sorts of excellencies, but with 2.8 trillion for the whole continent, when the USA has got a GDP of 30 trillion. This is really shameful. So I'm very glad that we are here. You are all part of the liberation process. I want to thank you, Mr. Guru. Thank you very much. And I want to thank you, who makes you do things. And I want to thank His Excellency na Wakenya wote kwa kutuunga mkono kwa hatua hii. Now, I'm glad Mr. Guru is going to start another facility in Kaware now for upgrading the iron ore, which is low grade, to the high grade, which will create jobs for 1,600 people. Now, regarding the job distribution, I want to advise Guru to be a bit, to broaden a bit, because the people of Kaware and you, the Bateso, be careful. Don't push things too far. You may cause us a problem. Because the Bachiga are saying we must follow our iron ore and get the jobs over there. Because the factory is supposed to be in the area, but we put it here, far away from the raw material because of other economic factors. So when it comes to job distribution, please remember the Kaware people. You should sit down, we should sit and talk carefully. Don't run around too much with the Bateso. Be careful. You can cause us a problem. Especially the Kaware group needs to be accommodated. Now, this man, Guru, these Indians are also very religious people. This is what I normally tell my Christians, my wife and my daughters, who are very strong Christians. I say, you people, be careful. Don't think you are the only people of God. These Indians, I don't know what God they believe in, but what they do is what God likes. Because what Guru does here, I've got another boy called something. That boy is doing very good things. The investments, the corporate social responsibility, you see they are doing the work of God. As me, I am a Christian, a real one, not just talking. But I am not narrow-minded to only look at my life. But Jesus judged people by what they did. We shall know them by their fruits, not just their words. So these Indians, I'm told Guru is like a reverend or something like that. Are you a bishop or what? He's a priest. He's a reverend Narendra. They are doing a good job, not only in this area, but also in other activities. Now, I will support the railway siding to come to the factory. I will support it for sure. And I tell now the Deputy Prime Minister who is here, Rebecca Kadaga, to take it up straight away, how to bring a railway siding to the factory so that the items go from the factory to the railway and go to different parts. Now, what you Africans need to know is the power of the pocket, the purchasing power. You can imagine the money we are giving to foreigners. $500 million a year from Uganda to foreigners. This is a lot of support for them. Kenya, you have had $800 million. This is a lot of support. So if that money remains in our pocket, instead of giving it to others, we shall be much better off. So nobody should tell you that we don't have power. We have power, but we don't use it. The power of the pocket. Purchasing power is power. We have been buying Japanese vehicles ever since 1962, when we got independence. I started seeing Japanese vehicles here. Previously, we were using British vehicles. But with independence, we started getting Japanese vehicles. And by the time we came from fighting Yamin, Japanese vehicles had taken over from the British and the German. So I talked to the Japanese, can you come and assemble your vehicles in Uganda? They were not interested. But now, we are making our own vehicles. Do you have them on the screen? You can show them. If you have them. The Chira motors. You don't have it. But we are making our own vehicles, electric vehicles, buses, other types, from beginning to end. So the Japanese now came and say, I want to assemble. I said, no, sorry, too late. I can't allow you. You lost your chance. Because assembling means you bring the same vehicle, knock down, and you just put it together here. The only saving is like 15%. But this shows you the power of the pocket. How much has Africa been spending on Japanese vehicles since 1962, when I started seeing these vehicles coming? It is very important that Africans really wake up and know their interests. I want to salute His Excellency Ruto. He's a real Pan-Africanist. Even other leaders of Kenya, I actually find them more Pan-Africanist than many of the others. Even Museveni, Moi, although sometimes we didn't agree, but when it would come to East Africa, he would be very, very East African. Museveni, Moi, Museveni Kibaki, His Excellency Uhuru, all of them are Pan-Africanists. But His Excellency Ruto, Pan-Africanist and also active in terms of implementation. So we are very lucky to have him in charge of Kenya. And we are now, you can see the fruits now. Because this is the one who was encouraging Mr. Guru. Yes, Mr. Guru is private sector, but His Excellency Ruto was encouraging him. So we are going to move very far. You have heard what he has said about the pipeline. These roads, the transport system, is now irrational. We need to rationalize it. Why is it irrational? Barabara, the road, they are small cars. They are railways carrying cargo. They are petrol tankers carrying petrol, all on the road. So we need to disaggregate, separate. Fuel pipeline, toko kwa barabara. You go through the pipeline. Mizigo, garimoshi, mizigo mikubwa. The train. Barabara, light cargo and passenger. And you heard what he was saying about also the dual carriaging the roads instead of just two lanes. So I'm very happy with what His Excellency is doing on the pipeline. I thank him and congratulate him. We are going to co-invest in that one together, all the way up to the Congo border, so that we take. And even these people who steal fuel from vehicles, they will not have chance to steal because it is in the pipeline. Now, Garimoshi, the standard gauge railway. That one, I want to congratulate him, moving from Naivasha to the border now. And we are already working here. So we are going to go up to Kampala, from Kampala to Bwera, Kasese, then to Rwanda, then South Sudan. So the future, what is happening here shows you that the future is very bright. Ebirungi ebisingawo binateera okutuuka. The good things are coming on the stream. So I want to thank His Excellency President Ruto. I want to thank Dr. Guru, and he's going to bring more investments. Now, regarding my people of Utororo, we have been disturbing Mr. Guru with the issue of land. This land is government land. You know, it was IATRO, East African Trypanosomiasis Research. Then, when we created the cultural institutions, some people say that the cultural institution came in, although we need to sort that one out. Because normally what I return to the cultural institutions were administrative centers, but not government research centers and so on. That one. So, but whatever it is, that's our internal matter. I actually want to refund Guru's money, the one he gave to some people. Some of my people here got money from Mr. Guru, and then now they are fighting over it. The one who got it is not the right one. This should be a matter between the government and the people. What the investor wants is free land for investment, not to engage in having quarrels with local groups. So stop going to Guru to ask for money. Come to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is there, the Deputy Prime Minister. We shall handle the issue of the land. I have handled it with the Tepeth of Moroto in Karamoja. They were disturbing our man there of cement. But the Tepeth, I paid them 40 billion shillings. Then I gave the land to the cement developer. This is the same formula here. Leave Mr. Guru alone. Don't go back there. Go to the Prime Minister. The land issue is between us, is among us, we Ugandans. What the investor wants, he has already done enough. Mutumuswara, omusajja alese sente, alese obukugu, byonna yabirese. Kati mwagala kumutawanya ku kigambo ky'ettaka nakyo tolabaawo tewali kunani. So the man has brought money, has brought knowledge, technology. The land is ours, is our contribution. I don't want you to give it free. especially if the clan says they had come in. No problem. If you came in, how did you come in? Did you come in properly or what? But that's our internal matter. We shall sort it out. If you are to be paid, it would be us, government, to pay you. What he wants is the land. And his share, mchango wake, ni pesa na utaalamu. Ndio mchango wake. Mambo ya ardhi ya udongo ni jambo, ndio mchango wetu na sisi, bila kumsumbua. So with these few words, I want to congratulate everybody. I want to thank Mr. Guru for bringing this big money. You're going to invest how much? 500 million. The money is going to invest $500 million here. Uyugwe mtawanya banange. Uyugwe mtawanya. Mutegero Uganda. Uganda mulumanyi. Uganda mulumanyi. Titwita okuswala. Omuntu akoze ekinene ng'ekyo ate ne mutawanya munonya busente. Mugerera government. Mve kubagenyi abaze wano. And he has already helped us with the cement. He has got a very good track record. What he says, he does. I'm very happy with him. And I want him to bring more gurus. Are there more reverends there? Indian reverends. He's going to bring more reverends, Indian reverends. And I want to thank His Excellency Ruto for encouraging him and for being together with us. We are fully aligned with His Excellency Ruto on the issue of the Pan-African vision. With these few words, they are not so few, I thank everybody and I wish you good luck. Katonda ababere.
Hello, may we stand up for the anthem?